Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, my neighbors, fam, reluctant Nabi, uh, Supreme Allah, Elizabeth, Lena, and yeah, all you other people out there that watch my videos, especially you black people. You know, I know I got some white subscribers, but this goes out to you black people. And, you know, the darker skin you are, the more this is for you. Uh, but nonetheless, black people, all colors, all shades. Driving while black is a topic that has been examined on pretty much every level. And while we're in the midst of the holy wars, uh, driving seems to be the main uh, excuse that the police, the Roman Empire, has to execute us Jews. And it has been this way for a long time. You know, even before there were cars, you know, they catch you traveling, they pretty much was going to kill you. And they did this often. They would strip you of your land. They still do that today. This is why most farmers are white. And I don't have nothing against farmers, but the way they got their land was by theft. There were even laws that the government had to disenfranchise uh, black people and take their land that they rightfully owned. And they still do that today. I believe the last time this was done was, that I can remember, was in the 90s. There was a man hung. Uh, they wanted his land, and he was like, nah, this is my land. And they hung him in the 90s. Uh, but driving while black is, like every time you see an incident, it usually has to do with driving. The kid killed in Chicago that stole a car. He was driving, of course, he stole a car, and they killed him, and the shot wasn't on camera, even though there was 30 police around. But they pretty much shot him while he was running instead of apprehending him. Shot him in the back. And this is a common issue. Also, while, okay, so in my situation, I have been pulled over countless times. They've run 50s on me all the time. It's gotten to the point where I know when a cop is running a 50 on me. And just a month or so ago, I went downtown, and I hate going downtown because it's flooded with cops. And I was behind a police officer, and I rightfully put on my turn signal and went around him. And when he saw that it was a black man, he started following me. Now, that situation, you know, I saw him following me. I made sure I didn't make any mistakes, but he was trying to strike fear in my heart. And the thing about it was, I wasn't afraid. I was more angry than anything. But nonetheless, a lot of times what we're seeing is that situation doesn't turn out good. So, and driving while black is we have to. It's to the point now where it's like, what can we do? Now, people keep talking about educating cops and re-educating cops, but I keep telling people that that's not going to work. Cops are educated. They're not smart. I mean, they're not stupid. You know, they're doing this on purpose. The cop, you don't need to go and retrain the cop because you don't have to train a cop not to kill a white person. You don't have to train a cop not to go out there and kill Asians. How many Asians have died within the last 10 years by being shot by a cop? I mean, I can only think of one, and that was a guy who uh, was it Virginia Tech? One of those schools where, he went on a shooting rage and just, started killing people and they killed him. But I'm sure there's more, but not very many. People from India, no. Even the Africans. I don't know if too many Africans have been shot, but there has been Africans shot. But most of the time it's African American. Diallo was an African. And incidentally, there was a white dude who went to the country he was from, and they end up killing a white dude in retaliation. But driving while black is a... What's up?
I almost ran out of gas.
Uh-oh. Is now to the point where there's almost nothing we can do. Armed or unarmed, men or women, teenagers, they're killing us so rampant and violently and rapidly that we are left with very little choice, even to try to run from them. I mean, it's just it's not even to the point of re-educating. It's not to the point of educating your children, because we used to, you used to tell your children, do what the officer says, comply. It doesn't matter now. Compliance does not mean that you're going to live. Even as an adult, even as a child, like I said, a 13-year-old boy just got killed here, and he was carrying a BB gun. So there's no longer compliance when you're driving while black. It's no longer if you're the passenger, not the driver. It's no longer if you're a female, then you're going to get by because you're a female. There is nothing left. If you're driving while black and a cop gets behind you, it's simply a matter of the lottery. That's what it's like, but except it's like a lottery. It's like, are you gonna hit today or not? Are you gonna one being hit today or not? It's only more frequently than the lottery. But what I'm trying to say is, you just don't know. You don't know if you're gonna get a speeding ticket or if you're gonna catch a bullet to the face. You really don't know if if your wife is going to
Ready? Water bill for next month.
I'm ready for it. Thank you.
Yes, it says balance due, but you can't pay it till next month.
Oh, I'm cool. Thank you.
Okay.
So, like I said, when you're driving around black, there's no more compliance. There's nothing that we can tell our children anymore. The system is completely failed us as human beings. From the president on down, the Justice Department, the Supreme Court, down to the local courts, there's nothing left for us. The system has completely wiped out every chance we have of survival and or getting justice. There is no justice. They're even, stopping kids who are riding on bikes, like they did in LA. They arrested a kid for riding a bike. He was a child. They came to the house, arrested him, and the family was like, why are you arresting a minor for riding a bike? and they surrounded the house with police to handcuff the child and said they don't care what the law says. We don't care. We're taking that child. And they took him in handcuffs. He was a teenager. There's nothing left for us. And when there's nothing left for us, there's anarchy. And anarchy and disorder, it spreads like a disease. And everybody goes for self, and it throws us right back to the Stone Ages. And this is what's going to happen. When there is no justice, when there is no law, when the law is not being upheld, you have lawlessness, heartlessness, selfishness, complete unruliness. You have the people who are doing wrong being shown as good, and the people who are good being shown as bad. And it's a complete reverse of what actually should be. It's complete unrighteousness, unholiness. And we are seeing this come to fruition. The news is just pushing it as hard as they can. And this is not an accident. It is meant so we can become unruly, and they can justify bringing what they consider justice to us. If you think Auschwitz was bad, wait until you see what's going to happen. I mean, you think the concentration camps and all that, it's going to be worse than that. A lot worse. You know, all these movies that you see where the poor people are being treated unjust, and they just happen to be a bunch of white people, whatever. You know, like Mockingbird and all that, you know, the Hunger Games. It's going to be like that, except there's not going to be any winners. There's not going to be some chick who comes out with a bow and arrow and stops it all. It's going to be a nuclear war. But driving while black is the caveat. I mean, they do run up in your house, but they're using the fact that we have to travel, we have to go to work. We have to live, we have to try to survive. You know, we're not all of a sudden going to start catching the bus, you know, if we don't have to, but even if we did, they will come on the bus and shoot us just like they did to a man in LA a couple months ago. Shot him dead. On the bus. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And I'm sorry to be the gloom and doom guy, but it's just the way I see it. I don't know, like, my neighbor has 2 kids. And then my other neighbor has a child, you know. And then, you know, I live in a predominantly black and Latino area. And the kids come over and talk to me all the time. And one of them's a teenager. And she'll be driving soon. And I'm afraid for her. Just like I'm afraid for my daughter. I'm afraid for my little nieces and nephews. And myself. I don't know what to tell anybody anymore. I don't know how to protect anyone. Besides praying. I just don't know anymore.